Right, what is up everybody? It's the one and only. I've been struggling for time basically to do a vlog on my own bike in a while, and been struggling for vlog ideas, and then I came across I got an iPhone and you've got a little like, notebook on it. I came across like notes that I'd put down months and months ago for just ideas of things to do, and you know, like just things to do in the future. So I'm going to spring back to one of them ideas, and it's why I did my A1 license, or why I've got a full license as opposed to just being on a CBT, because I'm only riding a 125. And I'll go into a little bit of detail. I know I've done a thing on licensing laws before, but I'll go into a bit of detail about what this license allows me to do. What are you doing? There's a lane to turn. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, what it entitles me to as opposed to what a CBT entitles me to. So the pros of it, basically. But I mean, just before I continue on as well, I will say I've been fucking tons of problem with my GoPro and the audio setup. As you noticed on my previous video, the audio just kept crackling for no reason. I mean, there's only one connection that's actually relies on any sort of hardware. The rest of it's all I don't know what you'd call it. Wireless is the best way to describe it. Fucking hell, is he not hauling arse? Yeah, the rest is wireless, so the only connection is from my audio pack to the GoPro. So that's the only connection that could be causing, you know, like crackling and interference in my eyes. So I've farted around with it. I've, you know, blown compressed air in there and tried to wipe off the connections and all that stuff. So, you know, fingers crossed it works, because it's like a 300 odd pound setup minus the GoPro, you know, for the audio pack and for the intercom, and it's just being absolute wank. So yeah, so hopefully it works. But yeah, so onwards with the actual video. Oh yes, and my battery. Fucking hell, my battery is absolutely shit. I charge it fully every night as soon as I get in, and obviously I actually charge it when I'm at work. Well, I have to charge it when I'm at work because it just disperses its whole battery in about 20 minutes. It usually, yeah, about 27 minutes I think it lasts, something ridiculous. And it's a standard GoPro battery. I'm running the camera at 1080 at 60. I mean, I know that drains it a lot more than anything else. It hasn't got Wi-Fi on. The audio pack doesn't drain battery from the GoPro, so it should last more than 20 odd minutes. The battery's fucked, bottom line, so I need to get a new battery. But I have a few projects ongoing, which I'll get to at a later date. One of them is an A2 bike, is my A2 bike. But that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm recording videos at the moment for it, of the project and of the build, and sort of as it started and where it's, and obviously progressing on to where it ends up. I see they got it every single day around about this point. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to, and it's quite exciting. It's been a real fucking headache and a lot of enjoyment throughout you know, the course of how much I've got up to. And it's, to be fair, it's very close to completion. It's just basically waiting for stuff to get to me, paying for a few more things, and then, you know, putting it together. So it shouldn't be long. It'll probably, to be fair, I mean, I won't reveal it until I'm actually riding it, because then I'll build up footage of me riding it for a little while, and then I'll slowly put them out. But anyway, back to the actual purpose of this video. But that is something to look forward to, and I think you'll be quite excited. So basically, the reason I did my A1, sorry, is for a couple of reasons. I mean, a lot of people don't like the look of L plates on their bikes. I mean, I wasn't very bothered about it, you know, I didn't think I look ugly. A lot of people sort of really don't like the look of them. But, you know, it's just whatever in my eyes. I paid £120 for a CBT and I'm on the road, so if I've got to put L plates on to ride on the road, you know, that's the way it is. It didn't really faze me too much. But, you know, of course, I did my test, so I don't have L plates anymore, so that's a little bit of a pro. I can take passengers, Now you don't really realise how useful this is until you do it. I mean, a lot of girls like bikes, so I can't explain the amount of girls I've had on my bike for just a laugh, you know, and a bit of a ride around with friends from when I was at college and all stuff like that. You know, it's a good fun. It's nice to take someone out. You know, this bike isn't overly fast, so it doesn't scare them too much, and it's just a bit of fun. And it's nice when it's a nice sunny day, as it's been for the past couple of days in the UK. And I think it got up to 36 degrees or something like that, which is, you know, for the UK, that's like astronomical. So yeah, so it was nice, you know, nice to go for a little ride around and just, yeah, relax. And obviously I've got intercoms on both my helmet and my pillion helmet, so we can talk, so it's just good fun. So it's definitely worth that, worth doing it because of that even. And I mean, a couple of my friends I picked up previously, from, say, like when they've got to go pick their bike up from the shop or something like that, I can take them to the shop and drop them off. Yeah, it's not the most fast and amazing ride, but, you know, it saves them getting a cab or whatever else. You know, they're on the back of a bike, basically. So it's good for things like that. I mean, of course, the other thing is I can go on motorways if I really wanted to. I've never had the need to, you know. Most of the routes I take, most of the places I go, I can just use the A13 or the A127. So I think I've had my licence a year now, something like that. I've never been on a motorway, never been on the M25 or anything like that, never needed to. So, you know, yeah, just haven't needed to. I mean, realistically, the test doesn't make you any more qualified to be on them roads at all, in my opinion. I always do that, just to shit the cunt out of them every time. So yeah, so that's another, you know, good thing about it. The other thing was, when I did my CBT, you know, CBT expires after 2 years, so it expired before I could do my A2. So I thought, well, what's the point in me waiting? I think it expired when I was like 18 and a half or something like that. So it's like, what's the point in me waiting for it to expire, pay £120, redo it, and then a couple of months later go and do my A2 or whatever? I thought, why don't I just do my A1 now, then I never have to bother doing a CBT again. Fucking farting around with these kids in the back. Then I'll never have to do the CBT again, you know, and I've got a full licence. So that was a bit of an initiative. I mean, I paid whatever the theory test costs are, I think like £25 or £23, something like that. Then I just paid the standard test fees because I can do it on my own bike. So it's £15.50 for module 1, £75 for module 2. That was it, job done. So I just thought, why not, you know? Why not do it? It just makes, oh, nice wing mirror. It makes sense to do it, you know? And of course as well, there's a couple of clauses in the case of theory tests. Now what happens is, obviously a theory test does expire after 2 years. Now you would have thought because I passed my test it doesn't matter anymore, but it does. So what happens is, I think my theory test expires a couple of months after I'm able to do my A2, so obviously after I'm 19. So I've got a couple of months to do it. If I don't, then it expires, but as soon as I've had my actual A1 licence for 2 years, I never ever need a bike theory test ever again. So it's a bit more incentive that way, you know, get it done and out of the way, and do your A1, get rid of your old plates, take passengers, go on motorways, and you never have to do your theory test again. You know, why not? So that's basically the summary of why I did it, because it worked out like, I'm not sure, 75. Yeah, so it works out like £5 more expensive than a CBT. You know, and then as well you get the experience from doing the test. You do the test. You do the exact same test you're doing your A test, your A2 and your A licence. You're just doing it on a smaller bike in the case of the A1. You know, so there's like, I mean obviously, say for instance you did your CBT at 17 and a half and it doesn't expire, so then you've got more than enough time to do your A2, then yeah, don't bother with it, then that makes sense. But in my case, I would have had to pay £120 out again for a CBT. So I just thought, well, I obviously added it all up and I thought, well, I'll pay £5 extra. I'll then be able to take passengers, which is a bit of fun. I can go on motorways if ever the need arises, which it hasn't. I don't have L plates anymore, so it doesn't look as, I mean, yeah, as I said, I wasn't bothered about it, but you know, it kind of does look a bit better without them. It makes you look like less of a newbie. But to be fair, you don't get as many people trying to give it the big one, you know, when you're filtering and stuff like that. Like I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube of people filtering and people get out and they're like, oh, you're on your old place, blah, 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 you're an idiot. I don't have that, to be fair. To be fair, I don't think I've ever had anyone try and have a go at me for filtering. I've had a couple of people like sort of moaning because I'm pushing in and all that rubbish, but that's just like, it's just whatever. Like someone actually sort of, I pulled up next to him, which is actually quite a funny story. It was back there. There's 3 lanes and basically the middle had 2 lorries, so I couldn't fit through the middle. So I went across to the right hand lane. It was like a turn right lane. And it was cross-hatching where it obviously bared off like that. So then your 2 lanes are here and the other one was there. So I've gone across the cross-hatch and just gone to the front like everyone does. And the car in front is so close that I couldn't get around the curb. So I just sat there. I didn't push, I just sat there next to the other car. And there was sort of a BMW here and then a Fiat sort of level with me, or maybe a little bit in front. And I just see her closing the gap in between her car and the rear bumper of the other car. So then I've sort of turned around thinking, what's going on? You know, is she on her phone, you know, sort of dragging on the clutch? And then she's sort of flailing her arms around, and I just sort of shook my head, rode up the curb and then straight back in front of the BMW, and I just thought, this is one idiot. So, a bit of a funny story. I don't think I had my camera on unfortunately, so that's a bit depressing. Because it would have been quite funny to watch. But yeah, you know, that's the reason I did my A1. It just made sense to get it done, get it out of the way, and now when my A2 comes, I ain't got to worry about theory tests anymore. You know, yeah, of course there is a sort of catchment between the time I pass my theory test and the time I pass my A2, which is like a month or so, or a couple of months. So yeah, if I don't pass immediately, I'll have to wait a couple of months until my license then been held for 2 years. But yeah, that's the way it is. But that's why I done it. You know, it just made sense in my mind to get it done, get it out of the way, and then got a couple of pros of it. But of course, as I said, the only real con I can think of is if your CBT doesn't expire before, you know, you've got at least sort of like a good amount of time after your 19th birthday to get your A2 done, and you're confident that you'll be able to pass in that time. You know, otherwise you might as well get it done. So yeah, that's really all I've got to say about it. And also why I'm actually doing a vlog, I keep promising TremourSphere to give him a shout out. I'll put an annotation up somewhere on the screen, and obviously it'll be linked to his channel. Go check him out, he's a really good guy. He's got a little RVF 400, which is an awesome bike. It's the mini version of the, it's an RC, is it an RC30? It's a 750 RVF, and it was one of the most comical bikes. V4, gorgeous bike, and they're incredibly rare. I think there's one on eBay that a company that imports bikes sells, and it's got like 1 mile on it, and it was put in a collector's place, and it had a couple of accessories on it, and it's up for something ludicrous like 40 grand. So they're awesome bikes. The RVF, so the RVF 400, sorry, is obviously the baby version. So it's an awesome little bike, Japanese import. They weren't home markets, but they're just beautiful. They sound amazing with a V4, but then they're gear-driven cams as well, so they've got the wines and the VFRs. So in my opinion, they're like the tricked-up version of a VFR. But definitely go check him out. He's been struggling to get the sub count and the view count back up. He had a crash a little while back. And he stopped recording for a while, and he's got back into it. He records really regularly, but he just can't get the viewer count up. So go show him some support, and let him know who sent you. I always fuck up on this bit. Always. I've tried this a couple of times now, like I said, trying to get this vlog done with a couple of issues I've had. And I always fuck up on the bit of saying, let him know who sent you. That's what I was trying to say. So let him know who sent you. And that's it for this one, guys. And I will catch you in the next one.